Alright, so this video is to show you how to install and use the PAC Doweled Countertop. Now this comes with either an option of nosing or banding to put on the top. And I'll just start you from the download phase, import. We'll go through all the parameters and then we'll do a little advanced material type changing at the end in case you want to, add new products to the library or use it in a different way maybe. So starting out in the downloads folder, you're going to download this from the site. This is the dowel countertop none. It's just finished none. Okay. So you're going to take this and you can right click and copy. Then you'll go into your actual Mozaik folder and find your whatever folder you want to put it in. So I have an insane collection of libraries in here. But let's say it's Frameless V12. And we go into products. And I'm just going to find some blank space in here. Right click, I'll paste. Now we have it inside that folder. Now we're simply just going to go back to Mozaik and libraries, products. We'll find that library, Frameless V12. Go down here. And then you can pretty much bring it in wherever you want. I'd probably put it in sub-assemblies. And we'll right click on sub-assemblies, say add product, and then import. And remember, you have to have version 14 for this product. 14 or later. And then you're going to find your dowel CP none up here. Left click once and say open, and then click on OK. And now it's in here for us. All right, it's defaulting to 3/4 nosing. Now we can just bring that into our job. So we'll go to Frameless V12, go down to sub-assemblies. We have the PAC Dowel CP none. Just throw that in the room. All right, cool. So let's go through some of the features. Right now, this is obviously finished none on both sides. If we go finish left, the build-up is actually integrated so that you don't have to worry about this little piece. You can add mid build-up if you want. It's an option. We also have this handy little scribe thing in the back. So this is for your bearing to rest on while you're flush trimming the nosing. You can also go in and change this to finish both. Then if you go to finish both, you can go into the parameters tab, and then at finished all four, you just click on one and it will do all four sides for you. And pretty handy. So that only is activated when you're on finished both ends. Now let's just go through all the parameters. If you wanted to just right out of the gate save this as a finished end both, you'd want to do that before you make any overrides. So you do that now. I could say finish both, then save to library. It's going to save that to the bottom of our Frameless V12 library down here. Now we have a CP both. If you're not doing nosing and you just want to do 1mm banding, it's a very easy change to make. The override is in the material templates. So I would go into the info tab. I would just override this cabinet material, the pencil, and then go find the nosing part type and change that to 1mm or whatever you're using for banding. That's going to automatically change everything. Okay. All right. So I'm going to undo that. We're just doing the nosing version right now. And you can see there's a little bit of overlap here. So we have a little we have a little overhang so we can flush trim something off. 1/8 inch is usually typical, or 1/16. You can do whatever you want. It's all going to show off of the bottom. Just going to make that nosing wider for your cut list. So I'm going to change that to 0 for now. You can change your build up width, obviously. change the front one or the rear buildup. You can make it smaller or bigger, or whatever you want to do. You go 2 inches for the rear buildup. It kind of does it as an offset. Okay. And then if you want to have your stretchers in here, you can just say 1, 2, or 3 stretchers. Now on 3 stretchers, I don't have them perfectly distanced. It doesn't matter. There's actually no dowels in those stretchers. That's for your team to, your guys to just put wherever they need to, in case this is a longer countertop. All right, so you can also add back scribe. If you add 1 inch of scribe, it's going to go off the back end. Important with scribe, it's shooting it out of the red bounding box. That red box is 12 inches. It's like we have entered down here, going an inch past that. That's how the scribe works in here. You just have finish left turned on, finish right, then the side scribe will be activated. Now let's go through here. We have a scribe tab depth. Changes to 1. That's just whatever you need for your bearing to sit on to flush trim this off right here. And don't want to get too small, otherwise your machine's going to break that right off. So 1.5 is fine. That tells the guys where the nosing is actually going to stop. Okay. All right. So the next thing we can do, we can change our dowel diameter. You could change it to 1 inch if you wanted to. I don't know why you would, but you can do it. So do whatever you want there. We'll change it back to about 8 millimeters. 8 millimeters is really the standard for dowels, 8 millimeter fluted. You can find some 5 mil out there if that's what you're into. And then this is how you set the depth for your dowels. So if you're using 30 millimeter dowels, you probably want to set this to about 15 or 16. This is just half the depth. I don't really know why I did it like that, but I did, so that's what we're stuck with. And then next after that, we've got dowel hole setback. This is kind of what it sounds like, just pushing this hole back a little ways. And then we have a distance from edge. That is just the first dowel from the edge. We'll go in for select for both. And then we have a spacing. So you could actually change your spacing of the dowels if you wanted to. Go to 8. Change the spacing. We'll just keep it at 12 for now. Okay. The last thing, these are kind of just bonus weird features that I added. We can actually just remove the nosing if you want. Okay. That would be for like if you just want to have a pre-mill countertop and you're just going to put banding on this, but you don't need to see, you don't care about seeing the lines. This is what I would do for a pre-mill. And then you can actually just remove the build up as well if you wanted to. I don't know why you'd want to, but possible. Okay, that pretty much walks us through everything we need to know about the countertop except what material this is using. That's pretty important. All the nosing is using nosing part type. And the tops and the build-ups are all using top part type. You can go into the parts tab and you can change all that to, you could change this to countertop, you could change the build-up to stretcher, and it'll work out fine for you. I would just leave it as top though, because you're going to run into situations where this is kind of distracting that this has been paint grade the whole time, so let me just change that. If we wanted to change that just for this, go into the textures. You find a nice oak. Okay. So if you want to change from top type, the reason I made this top and the build up top is because sometimes that overhang is going to be a couple inches and you want that to be the same veneer grade that you're using up top. And you might as well just use it on the back too. But if you're trying to save on material, just change this to stretcher type or go in here and literally change the part material. It's fine. All right. So once we say okay, and I did a bunch of weird stuff to this, but it's putting the dowel in the stretcher obviously and the top. We can send it to the CNC. Now the only other thing you really need to know how to do is track down those different part types and what material is being used. Right now we're using this white melamine for everything because all we did was change our part type. Now we want to change what material this is using. We'll go to materials and I'll just change everything in the cabinet. So we'll go into cabinet and we'll change the top. If I change the top to some kind of 3/4 plywood, it's going to change all of our parts to 3/4 plywood. The nosing is still 3/4 white melamine because it's just going off of our settings tab. So if we click on the pencil, go down to the nosing, you can change the nosing to whatever you want. Or you could just override this with a custom cabinet material template. Just make one that's called nosed top or doweled top. You can attach the material to that instead. Either way, it's pretty easy to just go in and change these things. All right, so that's it for the product. If you haven't purchased it yet, all good. You can just take some ideas from this. I don't really share the formulas or anything, but you can kind of see how it all works and maybe get some inspiration for your own product. Other than that, thank you for watching and have a great day.